So what is avidya really? Now let me explain it to you again. Avidya is the tree, is the representation, the symbolization of a gigantic tree. What happens when you're riding your bike and you bump into this tree? You fall off, right? And you can't move forward. Well, that's exactly what we're doing in our own life to our own selves. We are creating these myths in our head about what you can't have and what you can have and how long it's going to take and all of that. And those are myths because you bought into it for somebody else that has said that to you. Take a look at the most wealthiest people in the world. Most of them will tell you that they didn't buy into those beliefs. Right? And so what happens is here in the second branch of avidya, that means raga. The avidya, this tree, has got a second branch now, and these are all the things that are stopping us. Yesterday we talked about asmita. When you're in ego, right? That's going to stop you. That's going to stop you. When you're in raga, that's going to stop you because that expresses itself inside of you as greed, as wanting things. Let me give you an example what that looks like. A 2-year-old. A 2-year-old wants things when?
No.
Now. And he doesn't care what you have to, he or she doesn't care what you have to go through to get to that thing, yes? They want it now and they will cry until they get it. Yes? They're in raga. They need somebody, they're out of balance in their third chakra. How many of us don't we want something and we want it right now? We want it to happen right now, but we want it to happen as long as we don't have to do any work to make it happen. Yes? Mm-hmm. Woo! We want to wake up one day and just be rich. Right? But that which you're not willing to do, that means that you're not willing to have it. Right? You don't... What happens in here is we make demands for immediate rewards just because we want it. Right? For greediness. Because we want it. Right? And it expresses ourselves in the form of making these greedy demands. And these greedy demands are usually based on thoughts that are fear-based thoughts. We tend to hurt other people based on our fears. Let me give you an example, a workplace example. When we're out of balance, when we're taking a look at raga, we're out of balance in our third chakra. It says it right there. You should be reading your third chakra. This and this go hand in hand. Let me give you an example. You're working diligently, and then your neighbor who's a secretary, you guys are secretaries, is working diligently as well. Now she gets recognized for something. You feel bad because you didn't get recognized for something. So rather than to be happy for her, now you are thinking, oh my God, they recognized her, they didn't recognize me. What if they don't like what I'm doing? What if I'm not doing things right? What if the supervisor doesn't like me? What if the supervisor tells the manager that I'm not doing a good job? Then I could lose my job, and then you go off and you are creating fear-based thoughts. You're creating this dream that is fear-based. So what do? You take action on a perception. Remember that? You take action on a perception that you've created yourself, that if you don't do something to demean or take the attention off of that person, you might lose your job. So then you go and tell the manager, hey, you know, what's her name over there? Well, she left early. She left early the other day and she didn't tell anybody. right? And we do that all the time. But we don't do it for the right reasons. We do it because simply we're out of balance. We are acting out of fear. Fear that if I don't shine a negative light on her, the negative light might shine on me. We're completely out of balance. Right? Now let me give you another scenario when you're in Raga. You're in a relationship. You love this person so much. And all of a sudden you grow to love this person because you've been, and all of a sudden you think, oh my God, I cannot live without this person. And you cannot see yourself without this person. You can't see yourself as a whole person. You're afraid of you become afraid of what it's going to be like if you don't have that person. So you become overbearing. You become possessive. You become worthless in your self-worth, if you will. You create this perception that if this person doesn't love you or isn't with you anymore, regardless of how badly they treat you, you are not a whole person. You are not worth anything. I.e., that's where codependency comes in. How many of us, well, we've seen it on TV, have seen where women continue to attract and continue to go back into relationships that are not good for them? It's all because we're out of balance. We're out of balance in our third chakra. We're out of balance in our energy. We are now acting from fear-based mentality. And that does absolutely no good for you or for anybody else. Now let me give you another example of a fear-based mentality when you're in Raga. You go, you get all excited, you get a phone call, hey, guess what? I want to interview you. You come in, and then all of a sudden you walk in and there's 15 other people there with you. If you don't have a sense of strong self-esteem, and if you want the job so bad just to have the job, you're already walking into a negative situation. You're already out of balance and you don't even realize it. So immediately you start comparing yourself to all those people. Oh, she's not pretty enough. Oh, look at her dress. Oh, she's too old. They won't get her. Oh, and you begin to pull yourself up based on fear. We're in Raga, right? We're in Raga. Where really the only thing that you should be thinking, the only thing that the Yoga Scriptures tell us, or the Yoga Sutras, I'm sorry, not Scriptures, what they tell us is that everywhere you show up to share love. That's it. The universe, if you are balanced, the universe will make everything happen. So when you go to a place and you interview, you are there to show and share, love. You are not there to prove yourself better than the 15 other people that are there. Right? But the moment that you begin to compare yourself and think that you're there and you want to do it and you get in that competitive edge, you were in asmita, you're acting from ego, remember the first branch, and now you're stepping into the second branch. Boom, that tree is hitting you, that avidya tree is hitting you right smack dab in the face. When you go to a professor and say, well, I've done everything and so is my friend, but she's getting an A and I'm not, why? There's a comparison there. Are we not comparing them? We're comparing. Rather than to go to the professor and say, I'd like to speak to you because I thought I was doing very well and this grade means a lot to me and I would like to do the best that I can to receive the grade that I feel I am worth. Never do I compare myself to anybody else. Never do I do that comparison at all. That's the same thing. That's what we're